Assalamu alaikum, good afternoon, and welcome to Knowledge Talks. A weekly entertainment program at live specifically to share with you topics that contribute knowledge to the society. News, interviews with guests, tips, question and answer session, and yes, knowledge topics will be shared with you throughout the program, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, if time permits during the hour, and yes, every week this alternates. Some week we have news, some we have interviews, some tips, question and answer session, but objectively, ladies and gentlemen, is knowledge will be shared with you. This program, ladies and gentlemen, is a weekly session that I will have with you every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. I'm your host Tariq Al-Barwani, along with our studio engineer DJ Safiya, for an hour bringing you free knowledge at your doorsteps on Oman Radio FM 90.4. Now stay tuned after this music break for our knowledge topic this week. Okay, welcome back to Knowledge Talks, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host Tariq Al-Barwani, along with our studio engineer DJ Safiya, with you here live today on Oman Radio FM 90.4. Do you know that art can help you express your feelings? Art can help you as well express your emotions. And also realize what your potential really is. Now, sometimes you need some space away from the life pressure to renew your energy for tackling challenges in our world today. Who could better explain this than the guru of art himself, Gailani? Ibrahim Gailani is a self-taught contemporary artist living in Muscat, where he operates his studio and a gallery of his work from his home. He also manages and markets art-related events. He has had several successful art exhibitions in Oman. He is also a guest lecturer and organizer of painting workshops at various art colleges and schools. He is a member of Omani Society for Fine Arts and currently runs highly successful art therapy Gailani Art Retreats, a full-day painting retreat held twice each month. Today we have the honor of hosting Gailani at Knowledge Talks, and our subject is personal growth through art. Now, how is that possible? Gailani, Assalamu alaikum, how are you today? And thank you for joining us live here at Knowledge Talks.
Wa alaikum assalam, and it's a pleasure to be here.
Gailani, you have created a great brand in Muscat already, and a lot of people have attended your art retreat. I'm next, in fact, as I've shared with you before we started the session today. And the question is, when will I have the honor?
Well, you have the opportunity to attend 3 retreats in August. We have on the August 16th, and we have 1 retreat on August 23rd, and 1 retreat on August 30th. So take your pick, and we'll be able to have you there.
Great, inshallah. Actually, I remember when I met you at the Oman Web Awards back in Al Bustan, and I was so happy. And I said, so this is Gailani, you know, because mashallah, you're on the Instagram, you're on the newspaper, you're almost in every place that I see, mashallah, and
just like you.
Mashallah. In fact, recently I saw I know a lot of people are attending your retreats. In fact, my partner as well has attended your retreat and came back and you know, Tariq, I've attended the retreat, and they said, why did you attend and did not let me know? Okay, because mashallah, you have created a fantastic retreat, a fantastic product, I would call it, and a lot of people are speaking volumes about it.
Thank you so much.
I've recently also saw the US ambassador along with the security services in your retreat too.
Yes. Yes, Her Excellency Greta Holtz, the US ambassador to Oman, she contacted me. She and her son and daughter wanted to attend.
Okay.
And as with such very high VIP profile, the Secret Service and the guards came in and looked at the retreat.
Wow.
And so I got the Secret Service also to paint.
Yeah, no, that was the interesting part. When I saw the Secret Services as well, they were painting, and I said, wow, not only the ambassador herself, but it also were the security guards also participating. That was really nice.
No, it was actually a little bit of nudging from the ambassadors as well. She sort of encouraged them because they were standing around and they looked at everybody and they felt this energy in the room, which a lot of people talk about. And she said, why don't you pick up the brush? And then they started to make these beautiful patterns, and you had these really big muscular guys making these intricate little flowers, and it was just a treat to watch. It was really a treat to watch.
It's really, really nice. And as I said, a lot of people are speaking a lot about it. Now just go one step back for those who don't know about the retreats. Could you please share a glimpse about the retreats?
Yes. Well, the Gailani art retreats are a full day retreat, an art retreat, a workshop, which is basically a time away for yourself. We start the whole day. It's a full day retreat. It starts at 8:30 in the morning and it finishes at 5:30 in the evening. And what we do is we start the day with meditation, and we visualize a topic of the day. And based on that topic, then we put on global music, which this is music which I designed specifically for each retreat. And we ask you to do various exercises like close your eyes, touch the canvas with your own hands, feel the rhythms of the music, and just let yourself express. This goes on for around 3 hours, after which we break for lunch, which is at the hotel where we host the Gailani art retreats. And after that, we come back and we re-visualize what we have done for the first half. And then we look at it like we look at life from a different angle.
Wow.
And then we paint again. And here we do another 2 hours, and then we stop. And then we all sit in a circle and we review each other's work, and everybody gets up and starts to talk about their journey for the day and their journey on whatever is the topic. The topic for the day could be closure, it could be love, it could be moving on, it could be change, and all of these impact a personal journey, and there's a personal story in each one which comes across in these retreats. And that the last 2 hours where everybody talks, that's where the magic happens. That's where everybody realizes the value of this retreat, because it's different. It's not art education, it's self-exploration. It's finding your own path and finding your journey, which is really the magic of these retreats, and why they have been so hugely successful.
Tell me one thing. You said you have topic. Do you have different topic on every retreat?
Yes, every retreat has a different topic. So every month there is a topic of the month that goes out. These topics are chosen from people who attend the retreat. We have a fishbowl where they put in these papers and they put in topics that they want to paint about. And so there could be a topic of indulgence, and then they paint about that. It could be about what are they passionate about. It could be about challenges in life, and so it is these things which they decide. So it's chosen by the people and the participants in the retreats. So
they choose the topics.
They choose the topic, and then I put all the topics down, and I choose one from the ones which have come out. And then I develop a program, and it takes me around 2 weeks to develop one. So I decide the music, and I decide the ebb and the flow. I look at all the music from around the world. I purchase them. I put them in an order, in a sequence. And that's I would say that's probably 50% of the magic of the retreat is the music. Because that's what inspires people, and that's what sets the pace. Whether it's strong beats, then it goes down to slow beats. And that is what really moves people, because music moves everyone, and especially in a creative process. That's what gets the best out of people for the subject. So if it's change, It could be something very dramatic music, and if it's reflection, it could be a very soothing music. So the music varies throughout the day.
Yeah. So it's a one full day workshop.
Yes.
And it's to do with painting as well. So someone comes and do I need to be a painter to attend the event?
Not at all. In fact, 70% of the people who attend our retreats have never painted in their life.
What are they looking for when they attend this event?
They are looking for, they've heard about it. Okay. So they're looking for discovering something. Okay. Now, what is that something? They're just looking for a day out. They're looking for a release. Yeah. So like somebody would go jogging or would do something that they would not usually do, just a day out. So they come in and they're looking for that way to express themselves, and they use art. And because also a lot of them have been, they're very creative. People are creative, as we are all born creative. It's just society which tells us that you are good at it or you are not good at it. But everybody wants to create something. That's why every child puts a Lego block. That's why every child takes a chalk and puts something on a board. And it's society that tells them whether they will be a Picasso or they will not. But everybody wants to create something with paint. And so so everybody comes in and they've been meaning to express themselves through paint. So we have musicians and doctors and educationalists and different people from different segments of society who come in, and they just free themselves using art and paint and just soaking in the creativity of the day.
Oh, that's really amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, the number to call in is 24602058. I repeat again, that's 24602058. And yes, you have Gailani with us here live. If you have any questions, you can call in with us throughout the program today. Gailani, tell me one thing. Now, I understand about the event. It happens twice a month.
Yes.
And how do we go about registering to attend it?
Okay, that's a very good question. You can send me a message or send me an email.
Okay.
So there are two steps. Step one is you make a reservation for the date. And then step two is you come for the registration by making a payment before the event that happens. And third is you attend the event.
Okay.
So there are two steps. One is get in touch with us either through email or through WhatsApp or phone number, and then make the payment at the registration date, and then you come for the event.
Okay. Do you have an office?
It's at the City Seasons Hotel.
Okay,
so City Seasons are a strategic partner, so they have the venue. So that's where we host the venue, and we do the registration at City Seasons Hotel.
At City Seasons Hotel.
They are strategic partners.
Okay. What about the age? Or first thing, let's go about the requirements for someone to attend. Is there some sort of criteria? Do I need a degree, for instance, in art or something?
You don't need a degree. You just need the willingness to be yourself open in front of with a full group, and willingness to explore what it is that day. So, and willing to come and get the paints
and become and be creative.
Be creative. You see, a lot of people. The fear factor is to paint in a group of people, because everybody likes to be today behind their closed doors on their phone, sort of switched off, and very few activities which are sort of in a team building environment or in an environment where they're doing things collectively. And these retreats offer that. You're painting next to someone, everybody's paired up on a table, 2-2-2, and then you go around, you see and you interact with everyone. So there's this collective energy which almost every participant tells me coming out of the retreat, wow, what energy, I can't contain myself, I feel so different. And it's because that day they haven't been on their phone, they haven't been behind a computer, they've actually lived that experience of those 8 hours away from their life, you know.
In fact, that's what we need as human beings sometimes, to be away.
It's really like disconnecting, you know.
And I think this retreat is very, very good, and that's why I personally would like to attend.
It'll be our pleasure to have you there.
What about the age now?
The age, yes, that's a good question. Well, the youngest that we've had is a 11-year-old girl. She was so bright, Omani girl who had come in. But I do feel for the younger ones, it is a very long day.
Okay.
I think we have ages from 16 onwards, but really the retreats are targeted for more mature crowd.
Okay.
So if you're in your 20s, your students, or your 30s, or we've had very senior people, very young teenagers and seniors. So there's no age group, because everybody at different stages of their life goes through something similar.
Yeah.
But it is, I think, anyone under 16, it's a bit of a challenge for them to attend, just for the long hours.
Long hours, yeah. Yeah. What experience is offered at the art retreat? So people who come in, when they leave, what do you see them leaving with?
Well, I would say from the moment they walk in, it's an escape. The way it's set up, the music we have in the morning. Yeah. And just those bright smiles which are all over the place, and then that thing about switching off your phones and just sitting in a circle and meditating and visualizing yourself. That is an experience that you never do. You never slow down. One never really switches off and thinks about, what do I feel about this subject, and where am I? And then what we offer is, we push you after that. We try to, because all of us are judging ourselves as we are painting because of the stories that we've heard in our lives. So actually it's we push you, we irritate you, we change your perspective. We want to get you out of your comfort zone. So it's actually a little tiring towards the end of the day. Everybody who says, I came here to relax, but I'm so tired, because we've pushed everybody out of their comfort zone. And then City Seasons offers this really escape. The venue has these huge glass where the sun comes in, so it really is this bright experience. And then we offer this amazing buffet lunch where they go and they have it within part of the retreat. And so you come back and you sit together, and then you reflect on the day. So that it's a day out for yourself. You have meal with your friends, and then you have coffee with your friends, you chit chat, and you do a lot of work as a team. So the experience, and then you do a total reflection at the end, and a review and a deliberation, and that really brings it all together. That wow, I've had people who've written back to me saying how it's changed the way they've looked at things. People whose personalities I've seen have gone through a transformation. So transformation through art is something I really believe in, and this is the experience we really offer.
MashaAllah. Number of people attending in a session?
We restrict it to 20.
Okay.
Because I think 20 is optimum. Okay. And we almost all the time have a waiting list. As soon as I post it on Instagram that these registrations are open, I think the last one, which was last week, it was sold out in 10 minutes. As soon as I posted it, immediately people booked it, and it was sold out. So I have around 5 people waiting on each day. So that's why we've gone from 1 retreat to now 2 retreats, and there are all chances that we will be going to 3 retreats in a month in August.
Okay, and how much is it?
The retreat costs 18 riyals. Okay. So it's 1/8
for the full
full day, for the full experience. What you do have over there is a stall where you can buy paints. They're provided courtesy of Shagan Nagadas, and they bring in the art supplies, or you can buy the art supplies before coming in.
Okay.
So essentially what you need is 2 big canvases. Okay. And a set of paints and brushes that you can use for the full day.
Okay, that's amazing. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. A place for you to run away from the challenges and all the activity that you do. Probably boring. I'm not really. I mean, I know you all are having great stuff to do, but this is a way to sort of refresh yourself. That's how I'll put it in. We're going to take a quick break, ladies and gentlemen, before we continue our session, and we will be focusing on the personal growth and how does art impact you as a person. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Knowledge Talk, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host Tariq Al-Barwani, along with our studio engineer DJ Ayub, with you here live today on Oman Radio FM 90.4. Our topic today, ladies and gentlemen, is personal growth through art, and who could best explain this than the guru himself, the art himself, Mr. Gailani. We spoke before the music break about the art retreats that Gailani is doing, and Gailani would like to share his email.
Yes. If anybody would like to enroll into the Gailani Art Retreats, all you have to do is send an email on gailani.art@gmail.com, and that's spelled GAILANI.ART@gmail.com.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's your opportunity to register for the retreats. And you never know, you and I might be meeting and we might be the partners sitting and painting together.
Absolutely. That would be wonderful for people.
Yeah, inshallah. Steve Jobs is Apple innovator.
Yes.
Don King is boxing promoter.
Yes.
Mahatma Gandhi is one of the popular prominent leaders. All have a unique brand and personality. That's what I've noticed. If you look at them, when you look at Steve Jobs,
yes,
he's wearing the turtleneck shirt.
Yes.
When you look at Don King, the boxing promoter, yes, you see he's got his styles. Mahatma Gandhi as well, his dressing. Okay, just by looking at them, you can know who they are. And let me tell you one thing: in Oman, you, Gailani, have a style. You have a brand. And when for me, for instance,
yes,
I read newspapers. When I started looking at news publication about you, and also on the Instagram,
yes,
the first thing I noticed was your style, your dressing style.
Thank you.
Your hairstyle, everything, mashallah, to you is an art. That's what I can see it, mashallah. Now, tell me about your journey. That's what I'm interested to know.
Okay.
As in, I've started hearing about you, to be honest, within the past months to a year.
Yes.
But this past to a year, the way I hear about you is the punch bag. It's
yes,
good.
Yes,
mashallah.
yes, yes.
Very strong. Tell us about it. When did you start?
Well, actually, I started painting from the age of 6. So it was the first thing that I ever did.
Okay.
I always painted. And I went through art. I grew up in UAE. And so I always had art that I did. And until I went to college. And then from college, I was not really encouraged to do art, as with all traditional parents are,
yeah,
oh God, don't become an artist,
yeah,
become
yeah,
something else.
Yeah.
So I did an MBA in marketing,
okay,
and then I worked for a corporate, but I think around 7 years back,
mm-hmm,
I was at a crossroads in my life where both career-wise, personally, about my relationship with my family, and
yeah,
and where my life was heading. I was highly successful, but I was very unfulfilled. I had bouts of depression,
mm-hmm,
and it was a point in time where I said, you know what, this is not. When I saw myself in the mirror, it wasn't the person that I thought I was. And that's where I said, in fact, my wife gave me a canvas, and she said, you have a lot to say. Use the canvas to say it. And really the dam broke, and so many expressions came out. So I think my personal journey started 7 years ago,
okay,
which is the second innings of my journey, where I learned to discover who I was,
okay,
and really what I wanted to do, what was my calling. I still work in a corporate. I currently, that's what I do. I have a day job,
okay,
but alongside, I think I knew that I could make a difference in somebody's life. I could touch somebody with art. I had a voice. I had a message. Whether it was the way I dressed, whether it was the way I presented myself, I had a vision for myself. And I've been on that journey for the past 7 years. And it's been wonderful when you really discover who you are. So what led to my self-discovery, I said, if I could replicate this and change even one person, and change their and let them find their journey, then my purpose is done. And that's where I went to an art retreat hosted by an American artist, and I said, wow, this is incredible. And I said, if I could package it to what it worked for me, and start doing these retreats for everybody in Oman, there could be a huge market. And I started a year back,
yes,
doing these retreats. And I remember the first retreat we did, we had only 6 people,
okay,
and out of which only 5 were paying, and the rest said, I don't know what this is. You will not teach us anything to paint? I said, no. Then what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to teach you to find yourself. And they said, but we want to learn how to draw. And I said, well, that's not what I'm offering, but I'm offering a window into yourself, a mirror to see yourself differently.
Nice.
And they said, okay. So everybody looked at me as thinking I'm crazy, and I looked at people thinking that this is, I don't know if this is going to work, whether anybody is even going to come. And then slowly it just spread. But I think when I changed the brand to Gailani Art Retreat and I put it on Instagram and the social media, that's when it really exploded. In the past 6 months, it's just gone from strength to strength.
Mashallah. And I see it. I can tell that. And so you're telling me you're working right now. You are working.
I work for Oman Arab Bank. I look after their customer care and their call center. So if 24 hours you call somebody, I'm the person who managed their contact center, which is Fil Khidma. And I manage all the customer complaints which come in. So in a way, my job in my corporate world is also to solve challenges of people.
Oh, that's good.
So from there, so life's challenges and customers' challenges can always be simplified if you have a roadmap of how to fix it. And I think that's something that I like doing, finding a solution.
No, I really respect that. I respect that highly, not only from the motive that you had. A lot of people who have attended your session have spoke big about it, Gailani. Now the style, the branding, were you like that 7 years old, 2 or 3 years ago? I mean, the style, the dressing.
No. You would, if you saw pictures of me 7 years back, you would not see any chains. You would not see any necklaces. You would not see. I had shorter hair. Yes, but my hair was grey since the age of 10. So I had that inherited. But I wanted to see the image that was inside. To come out, so my hair started to grow. I didn't have the beard at that time, and so I went to Europe when I took a break from working, and I took 6 months off, and I went to Berlin.
Is that a year ago, 2 years ago?
No, 7 years ago.
7 years ago.
So 7 years ago, I was on a project, and I said, you know what, this is not working, and I went to Berlin, and I just found myself in that city, and that city really represented to me who I was. I stood next to the Berlin Wall, and I just stopped, and I almost had tears in my eyes, and because to me it represented a city which was divided into many pieces, and it was the world wanted to tear it apart, and it came together, and the people brought the walls down, and that to me signified who I was, cut into many pieces, driven away, and then I rediscovered who I was, and I came together, and to me that symbolism made me realize who I was. And from there, the transition started. The way I started to dress, the way I started to carry myself, all came from there then.
But is it, so you're talking about 7 years ago you started the same dressing that you have now?
Yes.
Okay, because I would say, I mean, I didn't know about it, but now, mashallah, you've got a strong brand, and it represents very well. People who are scientists, and, every one have got their styles. But when I mentioned the 3 people example, like Steve Jobs, you know about it, the apple, the black, he's wearing black, the turtleneck, and you've got Mahatma Gandhi, and you've got Don King as well. You are among them. That's what I'm telling you.
Thank you. It's a huge honor. In fact, whenever if I run off to the grocery store or something, and I don't have a scarf or a necklace or a brooch on me, people look at me like, where are the rest of your clothes? So I do realize that has become one of my personas.
Yeah, mashallah. They say art is the creation of beautiful or significant things. Tell me one thing. What does art really mean?
Art really is expression. It's expressing your point of view, the point of view of an artist, and it's saying a story. That's what art is really about. What is the story of the artist? From the time of the Renaissance, where they painted coronations on the walls or religious things on the rooftops of the 16th Chapel, all of this was done to commemorate and tell a story, celebrate an event. And this was done through the viewpoint of the artist. So it was self-expression from beginning. Whether it was even making portraits, it is to, if you see, all the portraits were made either making the person look very victorious or making the person look very evil, but it was always the perception of the artist which came through. So art is expressing a story. That's what art is. And what art enthusiasts do is they look and they appreciate the story. That's what makes a great art into a fantastic art, is when the story is so clear and everybody understands it, and everybody knows that what's happening over there. So whether it was my idol, for example, Frida Kahlo, the Mexican artist, she would make paintings which were very graphic and very almost full of pain, but when people saw it, they understood her pain, they understood her message, and they realized that this was what she was going through. She's telling a story, and that there's beauty in reality which everybody appreciates, and when it's presented through art, that's when it takes it to another level.
Okay, can anyone be an artist?
Yes, everybody can be an artist, because everybody has a point of view and everybody knows how to express that point of view. It's just finding that expression. And that's why people who come to my art retreat who've never painted before do a great job of it, because they have no restriction from art education. In fact, I feel people who are classically trained as artists or have gone to art schools are the worst at my retreat, or in the sense, not in terms that their art is of bad quality, but in the sense that for them to break up, they have so many barriers amongst them, because they can hear their art teacher criticizing them, they can hear their parents criticizing them, so or they can hear themselves criticizing them, because we are our worst critics. So a lot of people who are classically trained become very self-conscious whether the art is good. They're too worried about it looking pretty, or because a lot of artists paint to sell. Very few, and that's why very few artists are great, are those who paint for themselves and paint to make a point.
I like that.
When you paint to make a point, your painting will sell the highest. And this is where I will elaborate on that further, but coming back to the point of those who don't know how to paint, and when they come to the retreat and they paint, their clarity is so visual, because there's no restriction, they have no rules, they don't need to follow any rules, they just need to express themselves how they're expressing. So everybody's creative. That's why every child picks up a chalk and writes on the chalkboard. That's why every child plays with a Lego and builds things. That's why every little girl has a tea party, because they are creative. They want to do that.
And it's true. And what I like about what you have mentioned is that you should not limit people. I mean, probably the ones who have learned about art and come to your retreat, the ones that probably that you just mentioned, are following some certain rules that, and when sometimes when you follow some certain rules, you don't be creative. You're limited to what you can do.
Just like what you said, Steve Jobs, did he follow rules? No, no way. And that's why his product is outstanding.
That's true.
Great people. What did Mahatma Gandhi do? While everybody wanted to burn and have violence, he said no violence, and everybody stopped and said, what? And he created a nation, the biggest democracy there is. And so when you do something which is not the norm, that's when you will be successful, because that's when you will stand out. And so when you really have freedom to do that, and that's what these retreats offer to people, is that freedom to express. Because I'm not teaching you any form of technical art. I mean, I do some basic training on the retreat, but it's you finding your own way and learning from people around you.
Okay. How was art for you an experience in personal growth?
Well, as I said, 7 years ago, I found that expression. I wanted to make a choice of where I was going, and art led me to really heal some of my pains from before, and some of the challenges that I faced. So art was a realization of my dreams. And if that's what I could call it, I realized what was important was family. I realized, because I've had a very successful corporate climb very early in my life. I was a customer service director of a top European telecom at the age of 29. You know, and the more I got successful career-wise, and the more ruthless I was at my work, the more promoted I got. And that's the culture of the corporates. Unfortunately, when you murder people, you get promoted. And almost I became this awful person. And I was very unhappy. I was very successful, made lots of money, and I almost wanted to burn all of it. And so finding who I was and finding that person and letting go, that is what I discovered through art. And that's why I take that message to everybody else, is find that space, that voice inside you, that child inside you, because each one of us has a child inside us. It's finding that child, finding the innocence in you, because all of us, even the worst of people who we think are worst, are really children who are crying for help.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the number to call in is 24602058. If you have any questions related to our topic today, that's 24602058. We're going to take a quick break and continue our session today. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here at Knowledge Talks. I'm your host Tariq Al-Barwani, along with DJ Ayub, and we have Gailani with us here today, and our topic is on personal growth through art. Before the music break, we looked at the definitions of art, and also how has art has become as an experience in your personal growth. Tell me one thing, Gailani. What kind of personal growth can be achieved through art?
Well, I think that's a great question, because there are different people who have blockages. Blockages are limitations that we put on ourselves. So with art, you can actually overcome those blockages, because it's a way of expressing and freeing yourself by putting the paint on canvas. There's also a lot of trauma that people deal with, that can be addressed with art. So you can also overcome criticism, because if you take criticism, that has to go out somewhere. And expressing on canvas is a key aspect of doing that. And also looking at challenges. For example, you could turn the canvas upside down and say, how am I going to paint this? It's a different challenge. So everything that you do on canvas can be a metaphor of your life. And that's really how you achieve that growth, by putting yourself through different challenges, putting yourself through different criticisms, letting it all out, and dealing with blockages of limitations and removing that. That's really how you achieve growth.
Okay. Is it true that art can be healing, and how is that?
Art is totally healing, and that's because art is a freeing experience. And but it also depends on how you use it. So when used effectively, it can heal people. And the classic example of this is the most effective form of diagnosis of a problem for children is art therapy. Okay. If a child has gone through something, children through war, for example, you have so many of children who unfortunately are results of conflicts in this world. And if you go to a refugee camp, take 3 children out and give them a paper and a pen and ask them to draw. They will draw the pain. They will draw the bombs. You take children from Palestine, children from Iraq, children from Afghanistan, and put them together. They will tell you exactly how they feel, because they will heal by putting that on paper. And that is the aspect. So that child is inside everybody. So if you and what we do is we pad ourselves with what is acceptable to society. But when you strip people down to that child which is inside us, you will be able to address the trauma and heal it by using this painting. And this is why I did an exhibition called I Am Child with the Serenity Clinic of Her Highness Sayyida Basma Al Saeed last year. And the whole topic was about abuse, about child abuse, and using art to heal child abuse, of trauma of abuse. And it was titled I Am Child. And so art can be used in healing in various aspects.
Okay. How can business and corporate world benefit from introducing art for the personal development and their teams?
Yes. That's a great answer. Now, I have the Gailani Art Retreats have gotten into a strategic partnership both with City Seasons and one more company, that's Whispers of Serenity Clinic, which do holistic healing of meditation and yoga therapy and music therapy. So under the guidance of Her Highness Sayyida Basma Al Saeed, we would be signing that deal this Saturday.
Oh, very nice.
Yes,
congratulations.
yes, we will be signing a deal. So they will be part of the Gailani Art Retreats, and they will be doing the initial initial meditation in the morning.
Wow.
And so what we are working together with is coming up because we've got a lot of interest from different corporates who are looking for something specific for their need. For example, we were contacted by a medical institution who wanted to do a specific art retreat for nurses dealing with trauma patients, because they have so much of the trauma that they have to go through. So they said, can you do an art retreat, customize an art retreat? We said, absolutely. We have one of our top entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs of Oman, who has contacted us and said she wants to do a leadership program using art for female entrepreneurs, for Omani female entrepreneurs. I said, yes, of course we could do that. In fact, we have an education institute that contacted us and said, we would like to do a customized retreat for delinquent students who are suspended, because we want to know what is troubling them. Now, that is a very specific corporate requirement. And so from these various aspects, in fact, we've also been contacted to do sort of a couples therapies, 5-6 couples together who could be going through some challenges, to do a customized one. Now, the same role of customizing retreats for a group of people can be for corporates, team building. So you could start off with it, because the Gailani Art Retreats, which happen on Saturday, is a very personal, individual journey. Now, when you move that and you customize it to a corporate, what you do is you start with yourself, because only if you know yourself would you be able to work better with others. And then you add team building to that, and nothing builds team greater than working on a joint venture or a joint canvas. And so, you can do 3 or 4 artists who paint on one canvas, and how do they work about it? What are the dynamics? And all these different things which are of team building that get into it. And then about reflection, about teamwork, about respect, about working together and cooperation, that really these customized retreats are going to offer to corporates.
I love that. Gailani, you have shared a great deal of information today. I wish we had more time. I would have learned a lot from the great things that you've introduced. For me personally, it was the branding too. Any final words you would like to share to our listeners?
Well, I would say that for everyone, you were born creative. Don't let anybody in society tell you that that you don't have a voice. You have a creative voice. You can express yourself. Use any means of creativity, whether it could be writing, whether it could be photography, whether it could be creating something online, whether it could be creating something with your hands. But use that creative outlet, because this world needs creativity, and there's a creativity spark in each one of you. So, dear listeners, please use it.
Fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. That's a very, very powerful words. You all are creative. You all can do it. If Gailani has done it, you can do it too. Gailani, thank you very much for joining us today on Oman FM 90.4 to share with us your experience about art and the personal development. I would like to take this opportunity to wish you the very best and success in all you do, inshallah.
Thank you so much. It was a real pleasure being here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our program for this week. I hope you all had an intriguing time with us. If you have an interesting topic, feedback, or comment that you wish to share with us, please send me an email from my website, www.tariq.net. I'll be pleased to hear from you. Let us catch up again next week, same time at 5:30 p.m. Meanwhile, I would like to wish you all a happy and a pleasant evening. Ma'as salama and bye-bye.